was because we loved the sport.
Absolutely.
We never played it for money.
Inside a crowded Florida courtroom, the mood was heavy with suspense. An 85-year-old Jack Nicklaus grasped his family's hands while the jury delivered its final verdict, and the quiet broke into gasps. The golf icon, the man with 18 major titles, just secured a staggering $50 million, not from a rival on the course, but from the company that bore his very own name. This fight went beyond money. It was for something invaluable. Jack Nicklaus battled for his name, his honor, and the legacy he forged one swing at a time. The $50 million judgment was more than a victory. It was a clear warning, setting straight a distorted narrative meant to tarnish the Golden Bears' last chapter.
It's trying to buy respectability.
Deceit, betrayal, and avarice had circled him like predators, but he would not surrender. The way he fought back left his foes with scars deeper than any financial loss. This conflict had been building for years. Beneath the polished headlines was a tempest of grudges and hidden deals. It began back in 2007 when Nicklaus sold the rights to his name, image, and renowned golf course design empire to the brand new Nicklaus companies for a huge $145 million. The arrangement, supported by billionaire banker Howard Milstein, seemed perfect initially, but that alliance quickly went sour, and what started as trust soon warped into tension and betrayal. What started as a business arrangement became an all-out war. After leaving his executive role in 2017, Nicklaus was bound by a 5-year non-compete clause. But when that time expired in 2022 and he sought to part ways, it all erupted. Nicklaus companies, steered by Howard Milstein, served him a harsh lawsuit in New York, charging the golf icon with securing business deals covertly. But that was just the beginning of something far worse. The conflict became personal, aimed at his name, his honor, his very essence. They began a defamation campaign intended to ruin his reputation forever. At its core were two vicious accusations designed to destroy his flawless image. The first, a shocking assertion that Jack Nicklaus, the embodiment of PGA history, had secretly weighed a colossal $750 million offer to join the Saudi-financed LAV Golf League. Per Nicklaus's legal team, that LAV story was no mistake. It was planned, a cunning, dirty tactic to portray him as a traitor, a man willing to abandon decades of PGA Tour loyalty for Saudi cash. But the next attack, it was even more piercing. Rumor campaigns began circulating that the 85-year-old icon was succumbing to dementia, that he could no longer manage his own affairs. Nicklaus's lawyer Eugene Stearns revealed the truth in court, stating the smear was designed to make people feel you have to take the keys from him. That was the length they went to, trying to steal his voice, his influence, his dignity. It was a cold, deliberate character assassination to wipe the Golden Bear from his own empire. But in that Florida courtroom, the falsehoods finally crumbled and the truth sounded louder than ever before. When the witnesses were sworn in, everything came to light. Emails, phone records, confidential memos. The jury realized the sheer depth of the betrayal. Nicklaus's former business partners had tried to warp his legacy into their possession, asserting they owned his name, his face, and his voice in ads. Just think, the Golden Bear was being told he no longer even owned himself. The courtroom was stunned when Nicklaus's team presented proof they had used his brand for deals he'd never sanctioned. For Jack, this wasn't about cash, it was about respect. He had built that name with sweat, class, and 6 decades of dominance, and now individuals he had trusted were trying to profit from it. But once the jury pieced it all together, they saw who was truly playing unfairly, and suddenly the empire that sought to muzzle him was the one on unstable ground. Milstein's side tried to spin it, claiming Jack was confused that he'd misrecalled events, but the jury wasn't buying it. They saw an 85-year-old fighter still keener than most executives half his age. The defense's approach backfired spectacularly, portraying them as manipulators trying to mislead a living icon. Then the tide turned. Jack himself took the stand, composed, resolute, and filled with quiet fire. His voice quavered only once, talking about honor, about his father teaching him your name is your bond. The jury registered that this was more than business. It was a fight for dignity, for legacy, and for truth. And as Jack left the stand, the room knew the outcome was already decided in their hearts. He had convinced them. When the jury foreman at last read the verdict, the courtroom held its breath. Then gasps, tears, and cheers erupted. As Jack Nicklaus was named the victim, the judge's voice proclaimed $50 million in damages. But it was never about the money. It was about redemption. The Golden Bear had been doubted, ridiculed, and assaulted, and he had just reclaimed his name before the entire world. Journalists flocked outside as fans cheered, some weeping as if he had just won the Masters. Nicklaus smiled, humble yet proud, stating simply, "All I ever wanted was fairness." That statement resonated more than any trophy speech. His foes tried to erase him, but they only succeeded in reminding the world why he is golf's greatest living icon. The Golden Bear didn't just win a case, he reclaimed his roar, step by step. Nicklaus's legal team dismantled the false narrative Nicklaus companies had constructed around him. The proof was stark and irrefutable. Indeed, there was a meeting in 2021 with delegates from Gulf Saudi, the force behind live golf. But the meeting wasn't illicit. It was business, pure and simple. It was arranged by a Nicklaus company's executive to discuss designing a golf course, which was fully permitted by his contract. During this meeting, the officials pushed for more, asking if Nicklaus would assume a leadership role with Live, be the face of their controversial league, and earn an astonishing paycheck. But based on sworn testimony, Jack didn't even pause. He declined it right there. No debate, no ploys, no avarice. His logic was perfectly clear and came from the heart. For Jack Nicklaus, the PGA Tour was more than a league. It was home. It was the heart of his legacy, the arena where he forged his legend shot by shot. So when live golf beckoned, Jack's response was decisive. If the PGA wouldn't support it, he wouldn't either. He put principle before profit, loyalty before luxury. That is the kind of man he has always been. After only 4.5 hours of deliberation, the Palm Beach County jury's decision landed like a gavel, a victory for Nicklaus. They determined that Nicklaus companies had libeled him, circulating falsehoods that soiled his name and subjected him to ridicule, hatred, distrust, and contempt. His attorney Eugene Stearns informed ESPN, "It's always tough to prove harm to a reputation, especially for a man like Jack, whose name has always meant integrity. But this was about a single lie that Jack betrayed the PGA Tour for Saudi money, and today that lie was finally put to rest in court." Nicklaus Company's attorney attempted to minimize it, terming the verdict just a business dispute. But the jury was not deceived at all. They perceived the truth. This was not about contracts or non-competes. It was about character. The company had told lies, and now they were being held accountable. Yes, Howard Milstein and executive Andrew O'Brien evaded personal liability through legal technicalities, but the blow to their reputation, indelible. That pivotal moment formed the core of the entire trial, and the jury believed it entirely. The deception shattered and the truth shone through like the sun after a downpour. This ruling was the explosive conclusion of a years-long legal battle across multiple courts. In July 2024, an arbitrator in Florida had already released Nicklaus from his non-compete clause, giving the Golden Bear the go-ahead to design golf courses again on his own terms, and with his name. Then, in April 2025, came the final development in this dramatic saga. A New York judge formally declared that Jack Nicklaus had the complete right to use his own name, image, and likeness once more, taking back his own identity for good. Nicklaus companies may still possess the Golden Bear trademarks for clothing and golf equipment, but the icon behind the brand, he is at last free. So what is on the horizon for the Golden Bear? At 85, Jack has shown his fire never went out, it just burns with a different intensity now. He competed in court as he once competed on the fairway, calm, brave, and utterly unbreakable. He has cleared his name, defended his legacy, and proved to the world that integrity still counts for something. That $50 million judgment isn't merely cash, it's a statement etched in gold. Truth can defeat power, and true legends, they don't just fade, they fight back. He stood his ground, remained true to himself, and emerged a champion, a final triumph for the Golden Bear. It was a scene that felt like golf royalty taking back its crown, but as Jack Nicklaus finished one chapter, another star was silently ascending on the horizon. And now, the spotlight was on a new Woods. The atmosphere was electric, a tight leaderboard, perfect weather, and one name that made every head turn toward the tee box. Cameras focused, pursuing history in the making. And then over a few hours, Charlie Woods delivered it. The son of one of golf's supreme icons came to the first tee composed and focused, and when he finished on the 18th green, the golf world had an exciting new story. This was more than a junior victory. This was a declaration. From his first swing, Charlie's performance was sharp, brave, and poised for greatness. From his opening drive, you could sense it, that same steely focus Tiger brought to Sunday Major. Charlie was not just playing, he was dominating the course. Every swing had precision, every putt had a purpose, and the gallery could hardly process what they were seeing. Murmur after murmur rippled through the crowd. He has that Woods blood, and they weren't wrong. What was even more stunning was his calmness under pressure. As other kids faltered with nerves, Charlie stayed cool, assessing every shot like a seasoned pro. His rhythm, his posture, his self-assurance, it all radiated a living legacy. Reporters hurried to record every moment, aware they were seeing a new guard emerge. It wasn't just another competition, it felt like destiny playing out on the course. By the back nine, Charlie was in the zone. Birdies began to fall one by one, and soon the leaderboard was less a competition and more a crowning. Each swing reflected his father's shadow, but with a fresh feel, smoother, younger, hungrier. Fans began to chant his name, a deja vu from the Tiger era. You could sense the spirits of Augusta and St. Andrews, observing from on high. When he drained that last putt, the gallery went wild as if he'd won a major. He tipped his cap, gave that subtle Woods nod, and grinned. The kind of look that said, "Yes, I belong here." Cameras flashed, announcers were ecstatic, and the murmurs became roars. Golf didn't just see a great round, it saw the dawn of a new age. After the victory, Charlie embraced his dad, Tiger smiling from ear to ear, patted his back like a proud coach and father combined. The moment warmed hearts everywhere. This was not just golf, it was generational brilliance in real time. Tiger once noted, "Records fade, but legacy endures," and at that instant, everyone knew what he meant. Charlie's win wasn't about breaking records, it was about carrying on a narrative. The same ambition, the same fire, but a brand new chapter in the Woods saga. Fans who grew up admiring Tiger were now rooting for his son, seeing history repeat itself with a modern twist. The icon passed the torch, not with words, but with his presence, and Charlie took it with sure hands. Looking ahead, prepared for the next fairway of greatness. Every swing Charlie made had that same fluid, steady rhythm fans recalled from his father's prime, but with his own distinct flair. He wasn't mimicking Tiger, he was advancing the legacy. Shot by shot, he piled up birdies, remained ice cool through every difficult moment, and closed with a dominant under par score. This was no close call, it was a clear message. Charlie didn't just win, he commanded the field, defeating a group of the nation's best young players by several strokes. And with that, a single message echoed across the golf world. Charlie Woods is not here to blend in, he is here to take charge. The reverberations were immediate. Overnight, his junior world ranking shot up, placing him squarely in the discussion for golf's top youth tournament. For any other teenager, this would be a career-defining moment, but for Charlie Woods, it seemed like just the start of something much grander. For Tiger Woods' son, this was more than a win, it was fate catching up. From the day Charlie first held a club, the spotlight was waiting, and now it shone brighter than ever. Tournament directors hurried to extend invitations to major championships, and fans couldn't cease speculating on what was next. But away from the trophies and scores, the true wonder was in the atmosphere. Crowds lined every fairway, cameras flashed endlessly, and even competitors felt the weight of his presence. In one weekend, Charlie didn't just win a trophy, he rewrote the script for what's ahead in golf's coming era. For years, many wondered if he could ever escape his father's shadow. Now after this triumph, the golf world finally has its answer. He is not just following Tiger, he is building his own legend. If you're still here, hit that like button, subscribe to Golf Mode TV, leave your thoughts in the comments, share this, and I'll catch you in the next video.